everyone, welcome to another Power Talk with Archana. Today I have with me a honeybee. Well, you heard me very correct, a honeybee. And this honeybee oozes out oodles of money with her expertise in branding and marketing. The winner of 4 MAME Awards for Best Color Logo, Best Color Ad, Best Social Media, and Best Company Website, Tammy Collins has been into branding and marketing for more than 2 decades. Tammy is a part of my professional network and based in New Jersey. I quote as Tammy describes herself: I analyze brands, define opportunity, define uniqueness to illuminate, develop strategies to generate leads, and apply creative tactics to build brand thrive. I build hive that produces wealth. Yes, we are talking about a honeybee that helps you produce wealth. Let's welcome on board Telly Collins and find out her art, her tactics, her branding tactics that help people turn their passions into money and earn oodles of money. Hello, Tammy. How are you doing?
Hi, Archana. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Tammy, for coming on board and helping my audience understand how they can churn out money with your help and your support. So let's get started with this. So we wanted to ask you, Tammy, what are your strategies? What are the strategies that you adopt to convert one's passion into money?
Well, basically, I take a very holistic approach. I like to refer to myself as an intuitive, creative visionary, which many people can't understand exactly what that means. So I simplify it by saying I turn passion into money. And what that means is that I take a very holistic approach to evaluate what it is you're supposed to be doing. What are your true gifts? What are you meant to do in this world? And then how do we put that into a package that is sellable and that people will want to buy from you? It helps you live your true authentic self, which makes you much happier and you thrive in that place.
That's absolutely lovely. I think it's very important to understand what your passions are, capitalize on it, and thrive. I think that's really amazing. So, I really love when you say that you have a very direct and honest approach, which may sting a little. So, we know honeybees sting, but how does this honeybee sting? Can you please explain?
Yeah, that's a very interesting analogy. I would get asked all the time to help people with their marketing. And ultimately what happened is that I had to be brutally honest with them and tell them where the problems really were. And that's how the bee sting analogy was born, because even though it stings a little bit, actually a bee sting can be very beneficial. And I have to tell you the truth in order to grow and fix things and move forward. And so I'm very direct, and I tell you the truth because I really care and I want to fix your problems. So I have to be honest. And some people appreciate that and other people don't like it. But I have to do what's right for me and true to who I am.
Absolutely. Give us some examples, Tammy, as you quote this. What are those examples? Where have you felt really stuck when, your people, the people who hire your services have not really liked it, and how you've gone out of the way to make sure they understand what you're saying?
Yeah, so a lot of what I do combines the creative, the analytical, and the psychological aspect. That's sort of where the holistic piece comes in. So when someone reaches out to me, typically I do a lot of work with entrepreneurs, but I have worked with universities and colleges and nonprofits and small and large businesses. But my favorite space is entrepreneurs. And a lot of them would reach out to me and be very proud of what they had created. The problem is that it's very easy now to start a business. So anybody can Google what they need, get the information, and begin a business. However, this is not their area of expertise, right? So they're trying to wear too many different hats, which creates a lot of problems. So for example, I could get a call from someone who is very proud of their brand, and actually it could be missing a lot of pieces and key elements. So when I have to
Yes.
deliver that truth, it feels like a bee sting because they're very proud of what they created. But the truth is that they usually haven't done all the correct steps to go through the right process to have a fully developed brand. It's kind of like if you equated your business steps from A to Z, uh, people are skipping G, H, F, L. They're skipping too many steps in between, and then they can't figure out why they're not having success. And this is why my whole philosophy is built on a strong honeycomb structure that allows all of that stuff to work at its optimum performance level.
Wow, I think that's really amazing. I think that's quite natural, for people. They build a business with so much of passion and love, but then they get too possessive about what they have started with, and then they're not really very ready to listen to opinions or to suggestions to make changes. They have that resistance, and I think that is where the fall down is all about. You need to be very progressive in taking the feedback and adopt to the best possible ideas around you. Very right. Tammy, I know you have very, unique way of handling your clients, your people for their best, and for you to definitely, get accolades at the end. So you have been talking about those six steps of building blocks that yield money. What are those 6 steps?
So my 6 steps, my proprietary system is called Life, which is a legacy
Wow.
infrastructure for entrepreneurs. And it's based on 6 key steps. A lot of what I do is based on simplification, but it's also designed to build attraction marketing rather than having to chase down clients. So it's a big shift
Wow.
in 2 major thought processes. And those key 6 steps are development, discovery, implementation, observation, growth, and scale. Those are the core elements that have to happen in each step. Each step has multiple things that fall under that, but that's sort of the overarching storyline that happens in each one of those steps.
Right. Would you like to describe in few lines what each of these mean for you?
Well, of course, discovery is where my intuitive part comes in, right? So I ask a lot of very unique questions that are rather obscure, but it helps me to uncover the true nature of a brand, and that's a really important point because branding is born. It is not. You can't call someone up and say, "Oh, I hear you're a graphic designer. I love pink unicorns. I want a logo and a brand about pink unicorns." That's not how it's decided. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's born through a very specific process, which comes about through discovery. And then development is where my intuition meets my creative and my experience, right? So then that's where we start to pull out the pieces. There's a lot of consistencies that will surface in that discovery session. And usually people are so surprised to realize, but they're also thrilled because they suddenly get, wow, it makes perfect sense now. I didn't even see it before. And then we move
Yeah.
on to implementation, which is where we bring all of that idea, your passion, what you should be doing, we bring it to life and put it into a visual digital presence so that you now can communicate through visuals and words what it is you do, and people begin to see you in that light. And this is where the attraction starts to come into play. And then we go through observation, which is really about testing everything that we put into place, making sure that we are communicating to the right target audience and we are aligned properly. Sometimes there's a few tweaks that have to happen, or we realize that once people start reaching out that they wanted more or something else, so we have to evolve it a little bit. That's a critical step that gets overlooked. Many people are just moving full steam ahead and not taking the time. It's a little bit of beta testing. You need to make sure that the idea, the way it's packaged and presented and what the client is getting are all in alignment. So there's a observation phase that has to go on, and we begin testing and making sure we're on point. And then we move into growth, right? So now that we know we have your passion into a sellable package, then we can begin to sell it and start growing, right? So this is another key step. Most people are just opening a business and going, I want to scale. You can't just move right to scale. I know the digital space makes it seem like everything happens overnight, but it
Yeah.
just doesn't.
Yeah.
And so once you have growth and you're building growth, then you can talk about moving into scale and what that looks like and what that is structured and how we would get there. And so that's a quick synopsis, but my life system is a big program. It takes place over months. It's a very long-term project, and it's essentially the equivalent of having me as your marketing director in your back pocket, but guiding you step by
Wow.
step through the process.
Wow, this is really amazing, Tammy. Very, very
Thank,
holistic approach. And I think
thank
it's all
you.
about how you mentor. Yeah, it's all about how you mentor your clients to, reach the path of success. I think that is really amazing. It must be very gratifying also for you to see them grow inch by inch. I think this is really amazing. I feel entrepreneurs today need to understand this system and embrace it. It's like success doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
You need to build on it. It's a journey, and we need to take this journey very seriously.
Yeah.
It's not a quick time solution. Amazing. Tell our entrepreneurs, why this life system, what is the significance of this life system for any business, big, small, medium, solopreneurs? Why is it so important? Please give them the importance of this very important life and a game changing system.
Yeah, it's super important, and the model works whether you are a solo entrepreneur, whether you're a small business or a large business, because it's a methodical process and system that walks you through key steps. Now, there are fluctuations because no two businesses are the same. Nothing is the same. So there is flexibility in the way that things are executed and modified to fit the individual, which is another beauty part of the system. Nothing is cookie cutter, which is also a problem that I notice throughout marketing today. A lot of agencies want to put you into their cookie cutter program without customization. And, an entrepreneur has a totally different budget than a small or a large business. And just because you have limited funds to invest doesn't mean that you can't accomplish the same types of goals. They just look a little different. And so I work more on what my clients need and how to get them to their goals in the best way that works for them. And that could look like, instead of having a full-on custom built website, you might be using a more affordable, freer platform that may work for your budget for now. You can still accomplish the same goals that you need to accomplish on a larger website. You're just not ready for the larger website. So you have to work your way into those things. So I'm very flexible in the tools that are used. It's about the goals and how we're going to get there efficiently and quickly.
Lovely. I see a lot of process and methodology out there, for all the entrepreneurs to embrace and understand. It's all about the various baby steps that you take towards building your business, and also understanding it's not about, looking at the higher goal is not a problem. You can definitely achieve it, but within your means, magic can be created, and that's what Tammy is there for you. Great. Amazing, Tammy. Tammy, so you are a very creative person. We know it. And you're also a very process and a method oriented person. Who do you derive your inspiration from?
That's a really tough question to answer. It comes from a lot of different places. I honestly believe that, creativity is a gifted, it's a natural born gift that you're given. And I think that some people massage it and grow it, and other people do not. And this is also part of the passion piece. So if you were a child and you were very into, I don't know, drawing, but your parents kept saying, oh, well, we want you to be an accountant. We want you to be an accountant. You need to be an accountant. And so the ideology that you develop over your life is that you're going to be an accountant. And then you do that and you become an accountant, and you can't understand why you're miserable and why you feel unfulfilled. And so there's a huge disconnect there. And that's why digging into the passion is so important. But my inspiration comes from everything. I mean, I'm inspired by color and events and people and just things in general. I mean, when I do a discovery session, the things that come to life for me are amazing. I mean, I can see, it's almost like a movie where I can see all of the chess moves that need to take place to get to that place.
Wow.
And I always thought that it was kind of chaos in a way, but as I grew and embraced all of those gifts that I had, it really
Wow.
helped me to get to where I am today. And it's been quite a journey, and I have such a diverse background, and all of those pieces play such a critical part in what I do now. I couldn't see that along the way, but now I see exactly how that all came to be.
Wow, that's so very amazing. Just like the honeybee drawing nectar from different flowers, I see you doing that all along. Amazing, really amazing. So tell me one thing, Tammy, there are many people who have been laid off during this pandemic. They are passionate about pursuing your kind of creative area of into graphic designing or maybe branding. What message would you like to give to those people? How can they restart and reset their energy levels to reach somewhere close to you, or at least make that starting step?
Yeah, I think it's really important to understand that what we're going through as a society around the world with this pandemic is terrible. But at the same token, everyone has big challenges like this all of the time. We're just not
Yes.
all aware of them across the world. You know, people deal with even worse struggles and challenges, and we kind of go about our business a little bit oblivious to all that. So the one positive that's coming out of this issue is that we're all being a little more aware, right? We all have a common struggle now, and so it's really important to sort of take stock and look at your life and understand, most people are operating from a scarcity mindset. They're focused solely on money. They're living their life, working 10, 12, 14 hours to just pay their bills. And in reality, that's backwards. It's a backwards cycle, and it's very hard to break and get free from. But it can be done. And I feel that once you embrace what it is you're supposed to be doing, which comes
Yeah.
out in the discovery session, you begin to tell the universe that you understand what you're supposed to be doing, and you want to
Yeah.
embrace it, and the universe begins to pay you back, and all the pieces start to fall into place. Most people spend so much time in a zone of panic that they can't see. So it's like they're blind.
Right, very right, absolutely right. Tammy, tell me one more thing. Is there anything during the course of time you've been there in this industry for 20 years? Have you seen any client making a mistake and you've been like holding him back? Do not do this, you will get yourself into more trouble. Can you cite us some example that you corrected for your client and got him out of that trouble because of your brainstorming, your branding tactics?
Well, I can think of a specific example. I'm not gonna embarrass them by name, but I was working for a nonprofit. Were stuck in a very like 1970s mindset. So if you can imagine
Wow.
how outdated colors, tone of voice, the way they spoke, their website was still back archaic, original, setup. And so that was a really challenging project because they didn't really want to listen. I mean, yes, they were taking in a lot of what I said and applying it, but it didn't come out in the way it needed to. So the result of that
Yeah.
project is I took them from, say, 1970 or 80 up to about 2000.
Yeah.
So again, this is a great example of that's what worked for them, right? I didn't agree with the way they wanted their logo to be, but it worked for them. And so I had to look at what's best for them.
Yeah.
We need to grow at the rate that they needed to grow. So maybe going from 1980, 1970, 1980, all the way up to 2020 was too big of a jump. So they came up to around 2000, and that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really amazing. I think it's quite a collaboration to be able to understand your client and for the clients to understand you.
Yeah,
When these synergies working in tandem with each other, that's where magic is created.
yeah.
Lovely. Tell me one thing, Tammy. What is it that give you good night's sleep? Because you are the one who are soothing all your clients and making them go to have a good night's sleep because you take care of their
Yeah.
branding, their marketing, so they go to sleep. What is it that gives you your good night's sleep?
That's a really good question to ask me because I'm always in fifth gear. I accomplish massive amounts of things all at the same time. I was a full-time mom, working full-time career, full-time student, and getting two kids into college at the same time and beginning to build my business. So that's a lot on a plate to accomplish. So
Absolutely.
what I have a very unique system for planning and organizing, and it's one of my sort of magic tricks that help me be so productive. But for me to get sleep, that can be a challenge sometimes. But I do meditation and I do breathing techniques. And my favorite trick to do every day is I do a brain dump. And that is
Wow.
literally where I take a piece of paper and I write down anything that pops into my head. It could be I didn't do the load of wash. I forgot to go to the post office. I forgot to do this for my client. I need to send an email. Whatever it is, I just get it out of my head onto the paper. And
Yeah.
then I'll quickly sort of categorize them and group them so that they get into days and plans to get done. And that
Yeah.
clears my head and really makes a big difference.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So that's your secret you've taken today. And for all the other entrepreneurs out there, thank you so much, Tammy. Thanks a lot for speaking to us and for spilling the beans about your secret tactics about the business. Thanks a lot for coming on board. Have a wonderful life ahead.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I love to share. I love to talk. If I can help one person improve their life in some small way, then it makes me very happy.
Thank you so much. I'm sure. I'm sure. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.
That was Honeybee Tammy Collins for you, the honeybee that really, really stings. She works in very close collaboration with her client for their marketing and branding solutions. She has a fixed and a very clear cut 6 stage strategy that she follows to make sure her clients soar up really high in the business space. She has a life strategy that helps her clients create a space that helps them buzz the world. I hope you really enjoyed the conversation. I wish you best and stay tuned for more.